Okay. Hi everybody, it's Mark Arnstein, Remax Hallmark, and of course, livingnorthtoronto.com. This is vlog number 47, and today we're gonna be looking at the NDP Housing Platform for the election in 2021. Okay, so today we're going to do part 3 of our 3-part series, and we're going to look at the NDP Housing Plan for 2021. Now, unlike the other two, the Liberal and the Conservative, the NDP plan is really heavily focused on basically making housing affordable and renting affordable for the people who need it the most. And what they're planning on doing is the following. They're going to create 500,000 units of quality affordable housing in the next 10 years, well, being half of those being completed in the first 5 years of the initiative that they're going to start with that process. They're also going to provide rental support for co-ops and meet environmental and energy efficiency goals. They believe that this will create thousands of jobs in communities across the country, in turn helping Canadians get the affordable housing that they so need the most. Now, to help kickstart all of this, NDP plans to set up dedicated Fast Start funds to streamline the application process and help communities get the expertise and assistance they need to help get the projects off the ground. They also plan on using federal resources and lands for these projects by turning unused and underused properties into vibrant new communities. Now, as I mentioned earlier before, in the Conservative Housing Plan, the federal government owns a ton of real estate that is not being used right now at the moment, and is just sitting there being that's vacant and being used for nothing. So, all good. Now, the NDP also believes they can spur the housing construction of affordable housing by waiving the federal portion of the GST, HST, by helping units getting built faster and also being more affordable to the people who are going to be able to buy them. And they also believe that help giving money to families who are struggling to make rent and bring forward long-term solutions to the housing affordability crisis. They also, and this is one of their big initiatives, they want to reintroduce the 30-year terms to CMHC insured mortgages. So those that are unsure of how this works, that basically anything less than $1 million purchase, and we're putting down less than 20% down, is considered to be a high ratio mortgage, which has to fall under the CMHC guidelines. And they're gonna allow this to be available for 30-year terms. Now they say terms and there's amortization. So I'm assuming they're going off the amortization part of this, which means the amount of duration in which you can time to pay back the loan. They're also gonna increase the home buyer's tax credit by doubling up to $1,500 on closing. And lastly, the plan is implement a 20% foreign buyer's tax for people who are buying properties who are not Canadian citizens or residents, permanent residents of Canada. And they wanna make sure that real estate remains and still is affordable for the people who live and work in our country. Now, it's pretty short, pretty sweet, to the point. There wasn't really a lot of in-depth detail on the NDP housing plan, unlike the Liberal or the Conservative plan. However, I think the biggest point I want to make in all this, and I talked about this in the last vlog, was that a lot of this stems back to the affordability, especially when it comes into renting rents. And I go back to the Residential Tenancy Act, which is so, again, heavily one-sided in favor of the tenants, and what has in turn caused a massive problem for people being able to afford rental properties, because tenants right now are struggling to get in on rentals because of these factors in the Residential Tenancy Act, meaning that it's so unbelievably hard to get rid of a tenant if the landlord runs into any issues. So what happens is now landlords are basically scrutinizing the tenants up and down, forwards and backwards, to make sure that they are basically a AAA tenant before they will agree to rent to them, because they don't want to run into any issues down the road. So if you have a slightly lower than average credit score, or your income's not that good, or you had some bad marks on your credit or job history problems, you're gonna have a really difficult time renting a place, because landlords just don't want to take the risk. Because once a tenant is in, it's virtually impossible to get them out again if there are any issues. So my theory is, why doesn't someone just step up and say, hey, let's look at the Residential Tenancy Act and not make it so completely one-sided, and make it a little bit more balanced between the two parties that have to work together to make sure that there are and is affordable housing for people to rent. So just my 2 cents for what it's worth. Anyways, that is the NDP housing platform for the election of 2021. That's been the conclusion of our three-part series of this. Hope you found this information to be informative. And again, if you want any more information on this topic or anything else you'd like to discuss, feel free to DM, text, email, whichever works best for you. We are always happy to chat. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Take care. Be safe. Stay positive. And we'll speak to you all soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.